Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Biksha and here on my channel I talk about books and other related stuff. If you're someone who loves books or want to get into reading, then this might be the place for you. Today I'm doing a reading vlog, and for this reading vlog I decided to choose a short book, and specifically a Japanese book, because I love Japanese literature and I haven't read one in a very long time. I was looking for books similar to books like Days at the Morisaki bookshop or When the Coffee Gets Cold. Now those are some very popular healing Japanese fiction, and if you haven't heard about them, you can definitely check those books out. So I was looking something similar on those lines, and I came across another book which also based on the ratings it is quite popular, and it is called What You Are Looking For Is in the Library. And I have that book here on my Kindle. I am hoping that I really like the book. I don't know much about the book except the fact that it is a Japanese book and it is a book about books. So I think I'm going to have a really good time with it. Now, this book is written by Michiko Aoyama. I hope I'm not pronouncing the name wrong, and it is translated by Alison Watts. So yeah, without now wasting a lot of time, let me dive into the book, and in between reading the book I hope to give some updates about the book, about what I feel about the book. Hopefully I'll be able to share them in this video, so stay in touch with this video. So I'm just 10% into the book, and I'm really liking the book. So initially we follow the story of this girl called Tomoka, who works at this clothing store as a sales girl, and she's not happy with her job. It's a boring job. She has to wear an uniform every day. She has kind of lost her ambition in life or something, and she wants to change her job, but she does not have the required skill set. Then a friend recommends her a job changing site, and there all of the jobs that she sees kind of requires having computer skills, but she doesn't have any computer skills. So she goes into this community school. So there are a lot of classes that this community school gives for a very small fee, and there are also computer classes, and Tomoka, she enrolls herself in one such computer class. And the community school also has a library, and I think the story is going to revolve around that library. We see Tomoka going into that library and meeting this wonderful librarian, and she also gets a picture book for herself, a Japanese picture book for children. And let me see what Tomoka does and what she is going to find more in the library. Will this kind of renew her love for books? And overall, I'm liking the interactions in the book and Tomoka's thoughts. The writing is very swift. It flows very well, and I'm very happy to see it's not boring at all. I don't feel I was looking for a cozy book, and here it is, a cozy book. And yeah, I'm really having a good time with it. So let me see how the story goes. So, hello everyone. Today is the second day of my reading the book. What you're looking for is in the library, and I'm luckily quite a long way through the book. I'm 61% into the book, and the best thing about it is that I'm really liking the book. I was hoping this book to be a very cozy healing fiction, and it is that way, and it is even more than that. But one mistaken assumption was that this was a novel, but this is actually a collection of short stories. But there is a common element in all of these stories, that is the library. The same library and the librarian features in each of these stories. And I love the role that this library and the librarian plays in the life of all of these characters. The first story was about Tomoka, who is not happy with her life, with her job. She wants to change her job, but she does not know. She feels that she does not have the required skill sets. She doesn't even know what skills she should learn. But then she learns of these community center that gives these classes for a fee, these computer classes, and she goes there, and there she comes across the library and the librarian, and the librarian gives her a book recommendation, and to go with the book she also gives her a felted object. And these two have a very good role, a very important role to play in the life of the character. And we see her basically finding a new direction in her life. All of these stories have that element. All the characters are kind of not happy with their life or going through something, and then something happens. They goes to the library and they find something that that has an impact on their life, and also they learn to see their life from a different angle or take the actions that they have been meaning to take. So these stories have that element or factor in common. So the first story I really liked, and one of the things that I saw in Tomoka's case was that she had this friend, and her friend kind of thought Tomoka's life was amazing, that she was a very sorted person, and it gave Tomoka an ego boost, and she always loved being perceived in that way. And this shows how the difference between how we want to be perceived and how other people actually perceive us and what we actually are. So this difference has been brought out in the story very well. It is a small factor in the story, this line, but it kind of resonated with me. And there was another line about how a story can be interpreted by different people in different ways. Like we even though we read the same story, we do not have the same reaction to it. Our experiences or our personality, everything might come together when we are perceiving that story. We would perceive it in our own way, based on our own experiences, our own nature. And the second story follows it follows our main character, whose name is Ryo or Rio. I don't know the exact pronunciation, but he works in the accounts department at this furniture store, and here also he too kind of has a different dream of owning an antique shop. He is obsessed with antiques and he wants to open a shop of antiques. But he's always saying that no, one day I will do that. And he does not actually believe that he will be able to own a shop, but it is his dream. And there was this beautiful line about this, like when he was talking to the librarian about how his dream is actually a dream and it is never possible. Then there was this line. I will put the screenshot here on the screen so that you can read it. I really love that line. And so he has this dream of owning an antique shop, but he also needs a job. We again see the part where he comes across this library. Now the title of the book, what you are looking for is in the library, it kind of made sense to me from this second story. The library itself, it was a symbol of guidance. It acted as a guiding light for people. It kind of, people who went to the library found something of value, found something that they actually needed at that point of time. And the librarian was also a very amazing figure. I don't know how she knew the exact needs of the people, how she was able to see through them and gave them something that they could, that would help them, that would make an impact on them. She always gave them a book recommendation and an object, a felted object to go with it, and it kind of had a role to play in their story. Of course, there are other elements in the story too. The second story was one of my, I think it's my favorite. I like the characters' relation with antiques. It's amazing how sometimes you're not interested in something, but when you come across it in a book, the book kind of makes you see that thing in a different light and you're suddenly interested in it. That's what happened with me. Because the second story, I'm not someone who is interested in antiques, but in the second story, based on how the antiques were described and the characters' relation with it, I was able to see them and in a new light. And there too, there was a line about objects, how certain objects are not meant to be with one person. They pass from one person to another, and antiques were like that. And the third story, it is about Natsumi, and she is a young mother who has a 2-year-old, and she used to be an editor in this particular magazine publishing company, but she was shifted to another department because her seniors did not think that she would be able to do both the job of a mother and an editor, and she too is not happy with her life. She has had big ambitions in her life, but she was not sure. Right now, her whole life was in chaos. She also had a child. She had to do all of her motherly duties by herself. One day, when she goes to the community center, she comes across this library and the librarian, and in each story, I was always expecting to see what the librarian had to say, what kind of book she is going to recommend to our main character, what object she is going to give. It became an expectation as the story followed. And in the next story too, I want to see what role the library and the librarian has to play. So in this case also, we see our main character getting a different direction in life. I love stories where the characters, they fall in love with life all over again. They come out of a mess, they come out of a rut, they stand back up after a fall and is able to renew their lives. And these stories are like that. They kind of signify the renewal of life in a very gentler way, gentler manner. And I love how the library, or in some way books, have a role to play in this renewal, in this transformation. So yeah, I'm really, really liking the book, and I think I have one more story left, though I'm not sure. But let's see what that story has in store for me. Hello everyone, this is the 4th day of the reading vlog, and I'm delighted to share that I finished reading What You Are Looking For Is in the Library yesterday, and what a delightful read it was. I had a really good time with the book, and it was such a delicately woven tale, not just one tale, but five tales of these five different people. And I thought it was four stories, but there are actually five stories in in this book. And as I have already mentioned, the library features in each of these stories, and not just a library. Sometimes the characters from the previous stories also make an appearance in the following stories. For example, we are following the story of one main character, and it's his or her story, but the main character from the previous story, the main character of the previous story might make an appearance in this story as a cameo. Only a brief appearance, not more than that. But I love when stories are interlinked in this manner, where there's some kind of connection to the previous story, but also it is still a brand new story. It's a brand new story of a brand new character. There was so much hope in this book. This book is ultimately like that because it deals with the themes of feeling lost and coming to terms with life back again, or trying to look at life from a different angle, from a wider angle of characters getting back to their feet after being in a mess or a rut, of characters learning to love life all over again, of characters learning to love themselves all over again. And these themes, they're not just relatable, but the way the story has dealt with these themes, it does not feel very plain or very common. It feels like we are looking at the same thing, but from a different perspective. We're looking at these simple things that we might already know, but the way it has been described in the story, and by using the library and the librarian as symbols, by using the book from the library as symbols, it gives a elevated perspective. The main characters, the side characters in the story are so full of warmth. There's a lot of warmth in this book. You should to go into the book if you need that kind of warmth. It is not for you if you're looking for a very intense plot-driven book, because it is not a plot-driven book at all. It is a character-driven story. It is ultimately a sneak peek into these characters' life as they feel lost, or they're dealing with some kind of problems and they try to come back into terms with life. I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. If you're looking for something very heartwarming to read, something that you could relate to, a quiet, gentle story, books that give you a quieter kind of joy. If you're looking for something like that, then you should definitely pick this book up. There are a lot of quotes or words or sentences in this book that makes you stop and ponder. I have marked a few quotes in this book on my Kindle, but I will read out some quotes from the last story. Okay, so first of all, I want to give a brief sneak peek about these 5 stories. I have actually already talked about the first 2 stories, but let me just rewind. So the first story follows the story of Tomoka, who is a sales assistant in a clothing store. She is not happy with her job. She wants to change her job, and she wants to find a new meaning in life. And the second story follows the story of this man called Ryo, who is fond of antiques, and he had a dream of opening an antique shop. But will he be able to? He has doubts about it. And the third story follows the story of this woman who is a mother of a child of 2, and she used to be an editor at this magazine publishing company, but she had to switch to a different role in the company because the hectic life of an editor does not suit her mother's role, and so she was transferred to another department, and she's not happy with it. She always wanted to be an editor. The fourth story follows this person who is in his 30s and has no job and is not really doing anything in life, and he feels that he's not suited for any kind of job, but he has this obsessed passion about drawing manga characters. He has an obsession with manga, and he once dreamed of becoming an illustrator. So what happened to his dreams? Will he be able to revive this dream? You have to read the story to find out. The fifth story follows this person who is 65 years of age, and he has just retired 6 months ago. He is trying to find his way back to life and deal with this new change in this life, this huge change in this life, his retirement. And before he always used his work to kind of relate with society. He got respect out of that work, but now he feels like he has been alienated from the society, and he tries to find a new identity for himself other than the job that he used to do. So will he be able to? We again have to read the story to find out. The last story kind of talked about poetry, and as a poetry lover, I was really appreciative of the way the story dealt with the topic of poetry. And I want to read a quote from the book. It's a quote about poetry. It says, "When you are in contact with the poet's soul and their attitude to life, your response to their poetry becomes even more powerful. You can, in a sense, even enter into the life of that poet and feel moved in the same way." And I'm going to read out some other quotes from the same story. So, as I have already mentioned, this man is feeling alienated from society. He has conflicting thoughts of how to find belonging in the society, as he no longer has a job. And then another acquaintance tells him this: "Belonging is an ambiguous state, Take this place, for example. We can both be in the same place, but having that sheet of glass between us makes us feel as if what is happening on the other side is irrelevant, doesn't it? Remove the partition, however, and instantly you become part of the same world, even though it is all one to begin with. This is how I see it, Mr. Gono. I believe that every kind of contact between people makes them part of society, and that goes beyond the present moment. Things happen as a result of our points of connection in the past and in the future. Sometimes the philosophies discussed in this book are so simple yet so deep, because not only these philosophies are relatable, the relatability aspect is there, but the way these philosophies has been used, the way these have been conveyed or woven into the story, that's what makes this book beautiful. The philosophies, they do not feel preachy at all. And I want to wrap this video up by again reading out a very simple yet deep quote about books and about readers. So it says, "Readers make their own personal connections to words, irrespective of the writer's intentions, and each reader gains something unique." Now, this is also something that all of us readers might know, but again, the book has conveyed this simple truth in a very beautiful manner. So yeah, that's all I had for this video. I hope after seeing this review, seeing this reading vlog, you are motivated to pick this book up. If you are fond of Japanese literature, or if you want to get into Japanese literature, which you should, I think, because Japanese literature is a different world of its own. So if you want to get into those kind of literature, Japanese literature, then you can definitely pick this book up. What you're looking for is in the library. And I hope you have a great day ahead. And thank you for joining me in this video. I will come up with another book related video very, very soon. Thank you for being here.